Before we dive in, if you're a history buff or survivalist looking to uncover forgotten skills from the past, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You don't want to miss any of the techniques we bring back from the shadows of history. Today, we're stepping into a world often overlooked in WWII studies. The ingenious makeshift heating systems soldiers, civilians and resistance groups used to survive freezing winters. These weren't commercial solutions. They were born from necessity, resourcefulness and sometimes sheer desperation. By the end of this guide, you'll not only understand these systems but see how their principles can be applied today, whether you're building a survival shelter or just exploring historical ingenuity. People in WWII often had to heat their homes and bunkers with whatever they could scavenge, even in enemy-occupied zones. One of the most fascinating systems was the pot-bellied stove. These cast-iron stoves weren't just furniture. They were survival engines. Soldiers in the Eastern Front, for instance, would repurpose discarded metal drums, cut them and weld simple legs to create stoves that could burn coal, wood or even scraps of cloth. Practically, if you wanted to replicate this today, you could use a small steel barrel with a proper vent and a metal grate inside to hold wood. Always ensure ventilation, because these systems produce dangerous fumes if enclosed improperly. Another overlooked method was the sand-filled brick heater, often used by resistance groups in France and Poland. They would line a small underground shelter with bricks, fill cavities with sand, and heat the sand with small fires. The heat stored in the sand radiated slowly, keeping the space warm long after the fire went out. In modern practice, this principle can be applied to small bunkers or cabins by constructing a thick stone or brick bed and using contained wood fires, essentially creating a thermal battery that stores warmth overnight. Improvised ceramic radiators were surprisingly common in field hospitals. Soldiers and medics would take broken ceramic tiles or old cookware, arrange them around a small stove and channel the heat through the ceramic, which retained warmth and radiated it efficiently. This principle is directly usable today. Even stacking bricks or large tiles around a small indoor stove can extend heating efficiency, especially in off-grid cabins. Coal briquette heaters were a lifeline in cities under siege. Civilians in London during the Blitz often relied on small portable metal boxes designed to burn compact coal bricks. The beauty of this method was mobility. You could move your heat source from room to room. For a modern survivalist, creating a small steel box with a hinged lid and perforations for airflow allows you to burn wood or coal safely in a controlled manner. It's really a direct application of an almost forgotten civilian innovation. Trench fires were simple, brutal and effective. In freezing winter trenches, soldiers would dig shallow pits and line them with stones or metal scraps, then burn small, fast wood fires. The heat would reflect off the walls and radiate just enough warmth to prevent frostbite. For today's enthusiasts, trench fires can be adapted into backyard or survival heating pits. Though, always pay attention to safety, soil stability and wind direction. Improvised hot water piping systems were also ingenious. In some occupied regions, people would heat water in a metal container over a small fire and run hoses or hollowed-out pipes into living spaces. The water radiated heat slowly and safely, essentially a DIY radiator system. For modern practice, a sealed system using metal or heat-resistant hoses can distribute warmth in off-grid cabins, inspired directly by these wartime hacks. Garbage wood stoves were a staple in both military and civilian survival. Any wooden crate, scrap pallet, or even cardboard could be used to fuel these stoves when traditional firewood was scarce. Soldiers on the Eastern Front perfected small metal enclosures that maximised burn efficiency, and civilians did the same with makeshift ovens. Today, if you're experimenting with off-grid survival, creating a small ventilated metal stove that can handle small pieces of wood or biomass follows the same principle. Foot-warming stoves, often called buddy heaters, were made by digging shallow pits at foot level or repurposing small metal boxes. Soldiers and nurses would use coals or hot stones inside, and simply placing blankets or boards above created localized heat. Practically, this teaches us that small focused heat sources can reduce fuel usage while keeping people comfortable in cold conditions. Lastly, passive heat storage walls deserve attention. Some bunkers had thick earthen or stone walls lined with metal sheets. A small fire inside the bunker heated these walls, which slowly radiated warmth for hours. Modern survivalists can mimic this by building thick, insulated walls with metal or stone cladding and heating them with small contained fires. It's efficient, historically authentic, and surprisingly easy to implement. Each of these systems carries lessons that transcend their wartime origin: resourcefulness, efficiency, and the critical importance of heat in survival scenarios. By studying and experimenting with these forgotten methods, you're not just learning history, you're applying it in a tangible, hands-on way. If you found these WWII heating secrets as fascinating as I do, hit that subscribe button, share this video with fellow history enthusiasts, and stay tuned for more forgotten survival techniques that shaped the past and can still keep you alive today.